call.
All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakavam Sri Guru Vaishnavamcha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Dalita Sri Shakan Tamsha. Everybody should also simultaneously chant this prayer. That would be nice. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurmilitam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Putale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschimate Deshatarini Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Ram Sivarshavanavi Devi Daitaye Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayine Prabhavi Maha Madhuryoज्ज्वल Premadya Sri Rupanuga Bhaktida Sri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Sri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virudhapa Prasiddhanta Dvantaharine Panchakalpato Visukripasindu Vevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Kurti Shinma He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shavanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Chayatam Surato Pangor Mama Mandavater Gati Matsarvasya Padamboja Shri Radha Madana Mohan Divyat Vrindaranya Kalpadramada Srimad Ratnangara Simhastanasto Srimad Radha Shila Govinda Devo Ishtali Visevya Mano Smarami Shriman Rasarasaram Vivam Sivatatitastita Karshan Venu Swanar Gopi Gopinath Shiyesma Vrindaya Tulsi Devaya Priyaya Kesava Sacha Krishna Bhakti Pate Devi Satyavatai Namo Namah Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavatar Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Pura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram,
Ram
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 Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Sri Prabhupada. Gandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Yeah.
Prabhu ki jai. So we'll chant the three important shlokas which we chant before the class. Kindly you can repeat after me. Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naranchaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswati Vyasam
Tato Jayamudiraye.
Tato Jayam Udire.
Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Naranarayan Rishi, the supremest human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of what? Learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Shinvatam Swakata Krishna
Srimvatam Saratam Krishna
Punyashravana Kirtana
Punya Shravana Kirtanaha
Hridyantasto hi avadrani
Hridayantasta Bhadrani
Vidunoti Surat Satam.
Durnoti Sarasata.
Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu
अष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु
nityam bhagavata sevaya
नित्यं भागवतसेवया
bhagavati uttama shloke
भगवते उत्तमश्लोके
bhaktir bhavati naistiki.
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठकी.
By regular attendance in the classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. In loving service unto the personality of God, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Jai. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Text 10, verse 35. So we'll just go through a couple of verses from the previous verses. So we'll get an idea what's it. Narada Muni continued, this is text 31. O King Yudhishthira, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is not visible to an ordinary human being, spoke in this way, instructing Lord Brahma. Then being worshipped by Brahma, the Lord disappeared from that place. So before that, text 30, the personality of Godhead replied, my dear Lord Brahma, O great Lord, born from the lotus flower, just as it is dangerous to feed milk to a snake, so it is dangerous to give benedictions to demons who are by nature ferocious and jealous. I warn you not to give such benedictions to any demons again. Text 32, translation. Prahlad Maharaj then worshipped and offered prayers to all the demigods such as Brahma, Shiva, and the Prajapatis, who are all parts of the Lord. Text 33. Thereafter, along with Shukracharya and other great personalities, Lord Brahma, whose seat is on the lotus flower, made Prahlad the king of all the demons and giants in the universe. Purport, by the grace of Lord Narasimha, Prahlad Maharaj became a greater king than his father. Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad's inauguration was performed by Lord Brahma in the presence of other saintly persons and demigods. Text 34, translation. O King Yudhishthira, after all the demigods headed by Lord Brahma were properly worshipped by Prahlad Maharaj, they offered Prahlad their utmost benedictions and then returned to their respective abodes. Now we are coming to today's verse. Please repeat. Evam cha. Haribol. Everybody is there?
Haribol Prabhuji.
Yeah, Haribol Prabhuji. I was on mute.
Evam cha.
Evam
Cha.
Parshadao.
Varshado
Vishnu.
Vishnu
Putratvam.
Putratvam
Prapitao.
Prapti
Jite.
Vite
Hridi.
Riddhi
Stitena.
Krishna
Harina.
Harina
Vaira.
Vaira
Avena.
Avena.
Tau.
Tau
Atau. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Thus the two associates of Lord Vishnu who had become Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, the sons of were both killed. By illusion, they had thought that the Supreme Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart, was their enemy. Purport. The discourse concerning Lord Narasimhadev and Prahlad Maharaj began when Maharaj Yudhishthira asked Narada how Shishupala had merged into the body of Krishna. Shishupala and Dantavakra were the same Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Here Narada Muni is relating how in three different births the associates of Lord Vishnu were killed by Lord Vishnu himself. First they were the demons Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Text 36. Please repeat. Punascha.
पुनश्च
Viprasapena
विप्रसापेन
विप्रतापेन
rakshasau
राक्षसौ
tau
तौ
babhuvatu
बभूव
बभूवतु
kumbhakarna
कुम्भकर्ण
कुम्भकर्ण
dashagrivau
दशग्रीवौ
atau
हतौ
tau
तौ
ramavikramai.
रामविक्रमै.
Translation. Being cursed by the Brahmanas, the same two associates took birth again as Kumbhakarna and the 10-headed Ravana. These two Rakshasas were killed by Lord Ramachandra's extraordinary power. Text 37. Shayanau
शयन
शयनौ
Yudhi
युधि
Nirbhinna
निर्भिन्ना
निर्विघ्ना
Hridayau
हृदय
Hridaya
Rama
राम
Rama
राम
Ayakai
Aikai
शायकै
Tat Chittau
चित्त
तच्चित्रौ
Jahatru
Jatru
जहत्तुर्
Deham
देहं
Neham
देहं
Yata
यथा
यथा
Yata
Praktana
Pratana
प्राक्तना
Janmani.
जन्म
जन्म
Janmani
Translation. Pierced by the arrows of Lord Ramchandra, both Kumbhakarna and Ravana lay on the ground and left their bodies, fully absorbed in the thought of the Lord, just as they had in their previous births as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. Text 38. Tau
Tao
Ihata
Yata
Punar
पुनर्
Punar
Jatau
Jato
जातौ
Tupala
चिपाल
Pala
Karusha
Karusha
करुष
Jau
जाओ
Jau
जौ
Parau
हरौ
Ram
Vairanu Bandena
वैरा
Vairanu
वैरानुबन्धेन
Bhatena
Pashyatas
पश्यत
Pashyata
Te
ते
Te
Samiyatu.
Jamayatu
समीयतु.
Translation. They both took birth again in human society as Shishupala and Dantavakra and continued in the same enmity towards the Lord. It is they who merged into the body of the Lord in your presence. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Vairanu Bandena. Acting like the Lord's enemy is also beneficial for the living entity. Kama Dveshat Bhayat Snehat. Whether in lusty desire, anger, fear, or envy of the Lord, some or other, as recommended by Sri Rupa Goswami, Tasmat Kenapi Upayena. One should become attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and ultimately achieve the goal of returning home back to Godhead. What then is to be said of one who is related to the Supreme Personality of Godhead as servant, friend, father, mother, or conjugal lover? So, this few verses it has been said. And finally, the last birth, Shishupala and Dantavakra also came into explanation here. And Vairanu Bandena, acting like the Lord's enemy is also beneficial for the living entity. So it is mentioned, Kama Dveshat Bhayat Snehat. Whether in lusty desire, anger, fear, or envy of the Lord, some or other, as recommended by Srila Rupa Goswami, one should become attached to the Supreme Personality of God and ultimately achieve the goal of returning home back to God. So according to Rupa Goswami, it doesn't matter what level of thought you have. Kamat, Dveshat, Bhayat, Snehat. The lusty desires, anger, fear, envy of the Lord. Some or other we must become attached to Krishna. Yena kena, what is that called? It's a famous verse.
Kena kena prakarena.
Yena kena prakarena manas Krishna niveshaya. Thank you. So some or other our mind must be attracted to Krishna. Whenever we give blessings, we say, may your mind be attracted to Krishna. So the goal is to get our mind attracted to Krishna. See, we in our material bodies, our mind is attracted to so many things. And that doesn't take us much far. Rather, this absorption in many things will lead us only back to recycling of our bodies. We are recycled in the cycle of birth and death, again and again and again, life after life after life. And because it is made of three modes of nature, sattva, rajas, tamas, these bodies, they produce constant miseries. Miseries which are created by the three modes of nature, sattva, rajas, tamas. Even if you are situated in sattva gun, say like the demigods, they are not free from anxiety of birth and death, because they are also worried. Hopefully the demons don't come, the daitas and danavas don't come and attack us. And it happens quite often. The demons take over the Indraloka and the Indraloka. This is constantly going on. From a small bird, which is looking here and there, like we got about 10 to 15 big monkeys came on top of our monkey cage. They could not enter the monkey cage, but they are there because the beans was growing on the side chali, the monkey cage. So they were busy putting their hand inside the cage and picking the beans. But they were not peaceful. They were constantly looking hither and thither and everywhere so that nobody comes and throws stones at them or anything like that. And sometimes they become fearless. If I'm standing near the window, I'm telling, up, up, up. They don't care, they just go on taking their beans and the leaves, all the fresh leaves, they eat up everything. There's no leaf left in the top level. So this is the nature of material existence. Fear, birth, death, old age, and disease. This is for everyone, without exception. It doesn't matter who one is, a prime minister or this person, there's constant opposition. And similarly, there are practically everyone. Trump is become the president, but he's also having anxiety. There's enough opposition from different parts of the world. There's no leader who is peaceful. So to remain peaceful means one has to be like Rajarishi, like Yudhishthira Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj. They are peaceful because their goal is only to please Krishna, to serve Krishna. Ambarish Maharaj was the emperor of this planet. Practically the whole empire was being conducted by his assistants. And he himself is worshipping the Lord, Archavigraha worship. He is mopping the floor of the temple. That's all he is doing. Following Ekadasi, this, that, not doing anything else besides devotional service. Therefore, such kings are called Rajarishis. So in whatever position one may be, my householder, or a sannyasi, kiva vipra, kiva nyasi, shudra kenanoi, hey Krishna Tattva Veti, say Guru. In any condition of our life, we should get our minds attached to Krishna. This is the great science of Bhakti Yoga. The impersonalists, they try to deny the material existence by the concept of neti neti, not this, not this, not this, not this. And the yogis, they meditate on the super soul to get powers like the super soul. Not all the powers, some siddhis will come to them. Anima, lagima, prapti, like that. 8 type of siddhis will come. And it's only the devotees, because he has no desire except to please Krishna, his mind is peaceful. So if we want to keep our mind peaceful and happy, we should become attached to Krishna in all possible favorable ways. Not even praying for the Lord to remove our obstacles or our miseries of life. Great devotees don't pray for that. Anukulena Krishnanushilam Bhakti Ruttama. Because they are doing the highest form of devotional service, Uttama Bhakti. They are not even praying to the Lord for any personal relief or problem. But for the example of Draupadi, she, up to a certain point, she was trying to help herself. And when she became helpless, in an extreme situation, she appealed to Krishna. Then Krishna became the Sari. So that was an extreme case. But she is actually a pure devotee of the Lord. She never bothers Krishna with all her desires. So our life has to be conducted like that. That we don't bother Krishna with all sort of our small time desires. But Krishna knows our desires. Those who are engaged in devotional service all the time, Yoga Kshema Mahamyam, Krishna's promises in Bhagavad Gita. I provide what you lack and I maintain what you have. Tesham satata yuktanam pachatam pratipurukam. So this is the actual principle of living. And here Rupa Goswami is making somehow or other we must become attached to Krishna. Somehow or other. Then what is to be said when who is related to the Supreme Lord as a servant, friend, father, mother, and conjugal lover? So just imagine if the demons are becoming liberated. And when they do so-called unfavorable service to the Lord by fighting with him based on fear and anger, like Kamsa also, he was so Krishna conscious, he could never forget Krishna. But that is not called bhakti. Bhakti is favorable. Anukulena Krishnanushilam. There are so many types of services where you think of the Lord to kill him, like Chanur and Mushtika, these wrestlers. They were also seemingly giving great pleasure to Krishna in the wrestling match. But that is not considered as bhakti. Because their goal was to kill Krishna. And in this case, in the Ravana and Kumbhakarna, and the Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, the Shishupala and Dantavakra, now they were not ordinary demons. They were actually great devotees of the Lord, who were great keepers of Vaikuntha planet. They were cursed by the Brahmanas. And they had the choice of becoming devotees for 7 births and demons as 3 births. So they thought, oh, 7 births is too long to go back to Godhead. So they decided to take a birth as demons. Because somehow or other, the Jaya and Vijay also realized the Lord's desire to fight. So they were actually, what is called, Rupa Goswami is called one who knows the desire of the master. There's a word, Sanskrit word. Forgot that word, it'll come back. So they knew Krishna wanted to fight. So therefore they choose to become demons, not devotees. Even though we say, Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavatat Bhakti Rahetu Kitvai. Please make me birth after birth your unalloyed devotee. This is our prayer. In Shikshashtaka it's mentioned. But in the case of Hiranyakashipu and Jaya and Vijay, they chosen 3 births as demons so that Krishna's desire to fight will be fully satisfied. Very unique actually, very unique. We are taught to take birth again and again as devotees. Even Narottam Das Thakur says, Tandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanivas Janame Janame Hoi Ei Abhilash. This is my only desire. That let me take birth again and again as the family of devotees. So this type of devotees are very special devotees. Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, and they are all meant to give pleasure to Krishna in a very special way. But that is not what is recommended for us as sadhakas. We are not here to keep fighting. We cannot even fight with Krishna. But Krishna will not touch anybody who is an ordinary soul. He will only deal with pure devotees. Jaya and Vijay, he dealt like that. But with us, we don't even know who Krishna is most of the time. Krishna is within our heart, but most of the time we forget. But he only deals with those type of devotees who always remember it. Pure devotees. So Krishna doesn't deal with material energy. If we are contaminated with material energy and material desires, Krishna will not directly deal with us. It's the super soul who manages our affairs and the modes of nature, depending how much we are contaminated or liberated from the modes. That much help comes from the material nature. Ye tamam prapadyante tam satyeva bhajami. As one surrenders unto me, I reciprocate accordingly. So therefore, it is very important to see this aspect of devotional service, which these three great souls did it. Even though they were in the demon's body, they did it only to please Krishna, not to please themselves. I mean, to be acting like a demon is not an ordinary thing. You have to be a very expert demon. That Krishna had to come personally to kill you. So just imagine in Ramayana, these feelings of Ram towards Sita, the feelings of separation, and is going towards this Lanka with all the army of all the monkeys. We had about 10, 15 monkeys. We were all like wondering what's going on there, cleaning up the whole beans trees. And whereas in Rama Avatar, millions of monkeys came to help Rama. So he engaged these monkeys in his service because Ravana got a benediction that no human will come and attack him. No human can kill him. Even Hiranyakashipu also had a similar desire. No human should kill. Therefore, Krishna appeared as Narsingadev, neither human nor man. They think they are very intelligent, these demons. But Krishna is more intelligent than. He will come in such a way that their desires to fight, his desire to fight will be satisfied by these demons. He will fulfill, because all these benedictions are also given by pure devotees like Brahma, and now he tells Brahma, don't give such benedictions, because these demons, they keep on creating problems. Just like nowadays modern army, like in Israel and all these places, instead of killing a certain people, they throw bombs everywhere, and a lot of innocent people, children, women, everybody dies. But those days it was not like that. When Ramachandra is fighting with Ravana, he was only attacking Ravana, not everybody on the field, even though there were thousands and thousands of other soldiers of the demons were there. They were taken care of by the monkeys. And Ravana was fixed at Ram's mind was fixed on Ravana, and he only killed him. So it's a very amazing story how Krishna deals with all types of devotees, all types of living entities, according to their respective desires. So our whole process is to purify our desires, not to become a impersonalist or a voidist or anything like that. Like the Prabhupada's prayer is a Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari. We want to get free from this Nirvishesha Shunyavadi and take shelter of Krishna in any condition. Let us become attached to Krishna. Purification means to purify our impersonal and voidistic or materialistic tendency and become attached to Krishna favorably. That is called bhakti, uttama bhakti. Anukulena Krishna Anushivalam Bhakti Uttama. So this is a very important point here, that some or other is making the comparison. If out of fear and all, one can become attached to Krishna, then what to speak of a servant, friend, father, mother, and conjugal love? Their devotional service, like in Braj Bhakti, is so much superior to all types of devotees. Even though Kamsa was living in Mathura, but he's not like a Brajavasi in that sense. In one sense, yes. Another sense, he is not considered a Brajavasi who were always thinking of pleasing Krishna. Kamsa was always thinking about how to kill Krishna. He's sending demon after demons to Braj to kill him. And all the demons, they got killed by Krishna. So this is an important feature of devotees. So if there are any questions or comments at this point, please ask. Any questions, comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, in the prayer, I don't know the meaning. What is the meaning of Nirvishesha Shunyavadi? Can you explain in short?
Nirvishesha means no Visheshta, means impersonal.
Okay.
Vishesha means with qualities, and Nirvishesha means with no qualities.
Okay.
So Nirvishesha means Prabhupada came, then everybody was into yoga, whoever was so-called spiritual life. But their goal was impersonal Brahma Jyoti. They want to become one with God. And they're thinking they're already God.
Oh,
And
like
Shunyavadi means Buddhist. Buddhist concept is Shunyavadi. Because the material world is full of problems, they want to annihilate their existence by becoming zero. Shunya.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Nirvishesha Shunyavadi. We don't want to be either of them. We want to be devotees birth after birth. It doesn't matter what problems we may go through. Hanuman, is Chiranjeeva, is in the material world and he is waiting for Lord Ramchandra to come. In the meantime, he is performing bhajan. Millions and millions and millions of years. And when Ramchandra descends, he is there ready to serve Lord Ramchandra. Similarly, all these great devotees, they are all waiting. They're not feeling boredom. I mean, nothing's happening, let's go for a movie or none of those things. They're absorbed in bhajan, Shuddhanam. And they're getting greatest nectar from that holy name by doing bhajan and kirtan. So we have not come to that point yet. If we have a little time left over, we'll get bored. Let's watch a movie or let's go to a restaurant or do this or do that. Nobody takes time to absorb one's mind in Harikatha.
Still, we are on the bodily platform and in the material enjoyment. It's all still on the bodily platform and engaging in material activities.
Exactly. That is called Aropa Siddha Bhakti. Arop means to superimpose if I like pizza, so what I'll do, I'll make a pizza and offer to Krishna. It's not like that Krishna wants pizza or not, it's I who want pizza. That is called Arop Siddha Bhakti.
Thank you very much.
Basically, like Kubja, what is the name? Yeah, Kubja. She was making sandalwood paste for Ravan, Kamsa. So when Krishna came, he did the first chiropractic treatment, cling, and he made her straight and became a very beautiful lady. But her enjoyment, her tendency was to enjoy Krishna. Therefore, she is called Sadharani Rati. Very simple, normal Rati. People who are on that platform, they want to enjoy Krishna's property, Krishna's, enjoying in Krishna consciousness, but for one's own gratification. Whereas the queens of Dwaraka, they are called Samanjasarati, means their love is divided between Krishna, the children, the in-laws. So it's divided. Samanjasa means divided. Whereas the gopis of Braj, their attention to Krishna was Samartarati. That means one-pointed devotion to Krishna. They could give up their parents, their husbands, their wives, their children, everything they could give up and go to Krishna. In the middle of the night, they would run. And as soon as they hear Krishna's flute, they know. Everybody hears, oh, Krishna is calling me. All the millions of gopis, they leave their homes in the night. So these are called Samartarati, one-pointed devotion, 100%. Whereas the queens of Dwaraka is a little bit lesser than, even though they are pure devotees, they are also associates of the Lord, like Rukmini or Satyabhama and all things. but their love is divided. Whereas Kubja was very sadharani, normal, ordinary devotee who had a desire to enjoy the facilities of Krishna consciousness. You see? Is there any other questions? Did I answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. That was very helpful. Hare Krishna.
Hare. So we'll go to the next verse, text 39. Ena
Ena
purva
purva
kritam
ritam
tvad
Yat
yat tad
Yat tat
rajanah
Rajana
Krishna
Krishna
Vairinah
Vairama
Jahus
Yahus
Jahut
Te Ante
Te
De
Ante
Ante
Tad Atmanah
Tat Atmana
Gitah
Pitaha
Vishashkrito
Teshashkruto
Yata.
Yata
Translation. Not only Shishupal and Dantavakra, but also many, many other kings who acted as enemies of Krishna attained salvation at the time of death. Because they thought of the Lord, they received the spiritual bodies and forms the same as his. Just as worms captured by a black drone obtain the same type of body as the drone. Beautiful example. Purport. The mystery of yogic meditation is explained here. Real yogis always meditate on the form of Vishnu within their hearts. Consequently, at the time of death, they give up their bodies while thinking of the form of the Lord, Vishnu, and thus attain Vishnu Loka. Vaikuntha Loka, where they receive bodily features the same as those of the Lord. From the 6th canto, we have already learned that when the Vishnu Dutas came from Vaikuntha to deliver Ajamil, they looked exactly like Vishnu, with 4 hands and the same features as Vishnu. Therefore, we may conclude that if one practices thinking of Vishnu and is fully absorbed in thinking of him, at the time of death, one returns home back to Godhead. Back home, back to Godhead. Even enemies of Krishna who thought of Krishna in fear, such as King Kamsa, received bodies in a spiritual identity similar to that of the Lord. So this is the meaning of thinking of the Lord. You know, the drone is a little bug. You know, this among the bees, I think among the bees there's one female queen, but there are male bees called drones. When the female queen flies, many drones follow that female. And when finally one drone will impregnate that queen, and immediately that drone dies. And all other drones don't become active. So then the queen goes back to her hive and produces babies. So they all get the form of the queen, actually. The similar bodies like that. So even the caterpillar also is like that. It's a similar example of caterpillar. It's thinking of flying, but then it becomes a butterfly. So whatever one thinks at the time of death, one gets that type of body. So if you're thinking of Krishna at the time of death, Ante Narayana Smriti, then one will get the body like Krishna. And all the soldiers in the they all in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, they all got salvation. They became free from birth and death. And they attained the forms of the Lord because they are thinking of the Lord. Because when you're fighting against the Lord, you have to think of the Lord. So they all got benefit. So Krishna's battlefield of Kurukshetra It's not like the present day Ukraine war and Israel war, and nobody gets any liberation. They just take birth in the opposite direction. The Israelis will become Palestinians in the next life. The Palestinians will become Israel, and then they keep on fighting with each other. You see, they cannot become anything more than that. So if our meditation is on Krishna, then the salvation is there. Otherwise not. It's simply you become the enemy, and the next life he becomes the enemy, then it will goes on and on and on and on. That's why in the material world is so many wars are created, because they were on the other side before, now they are back in this side, and this goes on and on. Yeah. So therefore one has to train oneself in such a way that one will be able to think of Krishna all the time. That's why we have this beautiful Krishna book and all this Bhagvatam, pastimes of the Lord in different ways. That's why we have to know Jiva Tattva, Krishna Tattva, Bhakti Tattva, Radha Tattva, all these tattvas, the truths about all these aspects of the Lord. That's why Krishna says, Janma karma chame divyam yo veti tattvataha tattva deham punarjama naitimam. Those who understand Krishna and his activities as divine in truth, then they will not take birth again. This is the principle. So one attains a spiritual nature, then it doesn't matter whether you're in the material world or spiritual world, because you're constantly remembering Krishna. A pure devotee is always remembering Krishna. Prabhupada was going on a morning walk. Some devotees asked me, say, I never forget Krishna. I always remembering my spiritual master and Krishna. So we have to come to that point. Now, by the grace of Prabhupada, we have all this wonderful knowledge of Krishna consciousness. And if somehow or other we become attached to Krishna and we practice Krishna consciousness seriously within this lifetime, that means engaging one's body, mind, senses, everything in Krishna's service, 24 hours a day. That will come in its own gradual time. It takes a little time. A child is not born as an adult. He is a baby, then gradually he will become an adult after some years, 18, 19 years. And this goes on. So similarly, our goal has to become to somehow or other absorb our mind in Krishna's service, Krishna consciousness. Then everything becomes much easier to understand, and then you'll understand why we are in what position we are in all the time. So it's very important. If such a devotee, he will not even ask for going back home, back to Godhead and things like that. His main goal is to serve Krishna life after life after life after life. He's already relishing the nectar of devotional service, pure devotional service. Are there any questions or comments? I'll stop at this point and we'll do a little bhajan. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Vallabha Giridharadhari.
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Jaya Gopi Jana
Vallabha
Girivaradhari.
Giridharadhari.
Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana.
Yashodanandana Braja
Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana.
Yashodanandana Braja Ranjana.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Yamuna Tira
Vanchari.
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
यमुना
यमुना
तीरा वनचारी
गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय
गोविंद जय जय गोपाल
गोपाल
जय जय
गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय
गोविंद जय जय
गोपाल
गोपाल
जय
जय जय
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय
राधा
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद
गोविंद जय
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 गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय
गोविंद
गोविंद
जय
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 गोपाल
गोपाल जय
जय जय
जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय
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 गोविंद
गोविंद
जय
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 गोपाल
गोपाल
जय
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 राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय
राधा
राधा
रमण
रमण
हरि
हरि
गोविंद
गोविंद जय जय
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्णा
हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
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 हरे
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 राम
राम हरे
राम
राम राम
राम
राम
राम हरे
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 हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्णा हरे
हरे कृष्णा
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
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 हरे
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 राम
राम हरे
हरे
राम
राम राम
राम राम
राम हरे
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 हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्णा
हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
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 हरे
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 हरे राम
राम
हरे
हरे
राम राम
राम
राम
राम
हरे
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 हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल
निताय गौर
हरि
हरि बोल
बोल
हरि
हरि
बोल
बोल
हरि
हरि
बोल
बोल
निताय गौर हरि
हरि
बोल
बोल
जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा
जय
प्रभुपदा
प्रभु
जय प्रभुपदा
जय
जय
प्रभु
प्रभु
पदा
पदा
शिव
जय
प्रभु
प्रभु
पदा
पदा जय
प्रभु
प्रभु पदा
पदा शिव
जय
प्रभु
प्रभु
पदा
पदा
जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा
जय गुरुदेवा
गुरुदेव
जय
जय
गुरुदेवा
गुरुदेव जय
जय
गुरुदेव
गुरुदेवा जय
जय
गुरुदेवा
गुरुदेव
गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि
हरि
बोल
हरि बोल
हरि
शील
जय
गुरुदेव की जय
जय
गोविंद राधा रमन की जय गिरि गोवर्धन की जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय
जय
सुखदेव गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय
की जय
शील भगवान संजू
की
की
जय
जय हो। एकादशी माधव तिथि की जय हो।
जय
जय
और समृद्ध बॉडीज हरे कृष्ण और
हरे
glories of
कृष्ण
समृद्ध
हरे कृष्ण
और glories of समृद्ध हरे कृष्ण और
हरे
glories of
कृष्ण
His Grace Ram Shraddha Prabhuji ki jai.
जय
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this nectar class in this 5-6 verses. I think, yeah, it was so nice and very nicely, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण
हरि
हरि बोल
बोल हरि बोल
हरि
Ram,
बोल
Hare Ram,
हरि
Hare Krishna.
हरे राम हरि जय
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
जय
Thank
हो
you,
जय हो।
Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.